Hi, Nina. I'm Desiree. I'm known as Desbot on the Nerd Element. It's so nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you, Desiree.
How does it feel to be one of the first drag queens to host your own panel at San Diego Comic-Con?
I am really grateful to just be here to celebrate the things that I love. Comic-Con is all about, I think, coming together and celebrating this wonderful community of different fandoms. And the fact that I get to be a part of such a wonderful pop cultural juggernaut like RuPaul's Drag Race and then come here and continue to uplift people by sharing things that are important to me, it really is overwhelming and exciting and magical. And I can't believe I'm one of the first queens to do it, because it feels like such a no-brainer, right? Because here are all these wonderful people celebrating all these different things that they love, from DC Comics to Marvel to, I mean, the list goes on and 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 on. And the fact that I get to be here at the return of Comic-Con in person and celebrate a brand new book, it's magical.
Could you tell us about the genesis of the new book?
Yeah, what's really crazy is that, so during my time on RuPaul's Drag Race, when I was eliminated, I said go big, be kind, go west. And it kind of became a unifying call, I think, for people who were a lot like me, who had experienced different hardships because of their LGBTQIA plus identity. And I did a kids album, which was received with great acclaim, and a couple publishers started asking me if I was interested in doing a children's book, and that was always a big dream of mine. And so it started right after I was eliminated on Drag Race, and then COVID came, and I started to really work on it during my isolation period, and I started doing story times, and the book became really even more important because of wanting to give people like me, who might be parents of LGBTQIA plus kids or LGBTQIA plus parents, who wanted to be able to give the content to their kids that they wanted to provide. And I think the ability for me to step into that world and fill those needs and in those shoes is, I take it so seriously. And it's also an opportunity to share joy, which I think is really, what I'm here to do. I think that's what I was called to do. And it might happen in this vessel of drag or in this presentation of drag, or it might happen in a different presentation as Andrew, my real name. But the book has become this, even now, after all of these things that I've even mentioned to you, like as I sit here today, the book has become more important than I think it ever intended to be when I first started this journey with the book 3 years ago. And that's where I think the importance of this lies, is that I didn't know how important this book would be right now. And so the fact that I get to share it and talk about the importance of these messages in a time and a climate that desperately needs a voice like mine and desperately needs me to speak up for people who don't have the ability to do it themselves is so essential.
What would you hope for, especially for LGBTQ children, to take from your book? Especially, now when the way things are the way they are.
Yeah, I think it's really important that kids, be they LGBTQIA plus or not, I want them to take away the fact that they do matter in this world, and that there should be a space for them as well. A space where they can express themselves safely and creatively and provide an expression that is authentically themselves. Being kind is not, in my mind, is such a great asset. I think many people in this world might tell you that's a weakness, and I'm thrilled that I get to be one of those champions and those people who are saying, my gosh, you're a superhero if you possess these qualities, because in this world, this world is really tough, and this world wants to bring you down. And how magical it is, these people, these crusaders of kindness who are able to elevate themselves and also try to hold people up as well with them. And so I just want kids to feel like they're a part of that movement, and that it's okay to be kind, and that it's okay to be the person you want to be. I just really want to provide the space that I didn't necessarily feel I had when I was a kid.
And then my last question is, how can we be kinder to each other?
Oh my gosh, how can we be kinder to each other? We can start by listening to one another. I think that's a really big first step. And also recognizing and seeing people where they're at. I think that's a very important and essential thing that we all need to do. is that we see one another, and we hear one another, and we also give the opportunity to be present with one another and be willing to have a conversation. We've gotten lost in, I think, the loudness of social media, which in turn has provided great division amongst our communities and our identities. And I think we have to respect one another, respect our differences, so we can all come together and be more unified and be able to have conversations about that.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank
and
you.
everybody go out and get the You Kind of Kind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.